Yeah, friends, welcome back. Let's see other branches of the splenic artery. You can go and watch the previous lecture to know the first four, to know about the first four branches of the splenic artery that I have discussed in detail. I hope if you have watched that lecture, you would have liked it. So let's move further forward and see the fifth branch, which arises from the splenic artery, right? So the fifth branches are called the short gastric arteries. Short gastric arteries. I'm writing it arteries because there are about 7 to 8 branches which are supplying blood to the fundus and the cardiac region. So look carefully. Let me draw this portion here a little bit clearly, right? Look carefully. And this is our splenic artery, and you know it has gone and divided into 3 sub branches, right? 3 sub trunks like this, and all these trunks enter to what? All these trunks enter to your spleen. This is your spleen, right? Look carefully. From these splenic arteries of splenic branches of the splenic artery, right? These are the splenic branches of the splenic artery. There are certain small branches which are separating from it, which are bifurcating and moving towards the fundus of the stomach and supplies. Here is our stomach. Like this. Clear? So look carefully. This area is called the fundus of stomach, and this is called the cardiac region of the stomach. We know that. So these are the small branches which arise from these splenic branches of the splenic artery, and they come and supply blood to the fundus of the stomach anteriorly and posteriorly, and to the cardiac region of the stomach anteriorly and posteriorly. So there are about 5 to 7 or 5 to 6 short gastric arteries which supply blood to the left upper part of the stomach, right? So let's see here. There are about 5 to 7 branches. Okay, we know that, and they arise from the splenic branches of the splenic artery. So they arise from splenic branches of, not directly from splenic artery, that's why I'm writing it, splenic branches of splenic artery. Done. And what do? They supply blood to fundus and cardiac region of stomach. Cardiac region of stomach, and we can say mostly they supply blood to the upper lateral part or to the upper left side of the stomach. Okay, and what other thing, friends? They make anastomosis with the, look carefully, they are coming here, right? They are coming here to the fundus, and they make anastomosis with those branches of the left gastric artery which we have discussed in our previous lecture. You can watch them. So they make anastomosis here like this. Clear, friends? Okay, so they make anastomosis. They anastomose with branches of left gastric artery. Left gastric artery. Done. Then the next branch, the sixth one, is called the, we call it the left gastroepiploic artery. Follow me here again, look carefully friends. This is a branch, this is a trunk which separates from the splenic artery towards the inferior side of, towards the inferior aspects of the spleen. Now you can, if you follow this marker, look carefully, this branch is entering to the inferior aspects of the spleen, and from it there is a branch separating and comes down to the greater curvature of the stomach. So this is called the left gastroepiploic artery. Okay, so this is our sixth branch, the left epiploic artery, the left gastroepiploic artery, and this artery is called the left gastroomental artery, right? It is also called the left gastroomental artery. Clear? So what does it do? Look carefully friends. It comes down, right, to the greater curvature of the stomach, right, inferiorly. The superior part are supplied by short gastric arteries, right? So this branch, this is our sixth branch, and this is called the left gastroepiploic artery, right? So this artery is a long artery, and it is mainly responsible to supply blood to the lateral margins of the greater curvature of the stomach, and you know that it is giving anterior branches and also posterior branches, right? Keep that in mind, that if we put that part here, right, like this, and this is your left gastroepiploic artery, so it is giving posterior branches and anterior branches like this, and it comes more further forward, then it gives posterior branches and anterior branches, and more forward posterior branches and anterior branches. So the posterior branches are shown here in dotted manner, and the anterior branches I have shown in dark manner, right? So this sixth branch is our the left gastroepiploic artery, and it arises from the splenic artery near the hilum of the spleen. Arise from splenic artery, okay, at which position? Near hilum of spleen. Okay, what does it do? It moves down to the right side of the stomach, right, at the border of the greater curvature, right? So we say it moves down to border of greater curvature, okay, and it mostly supplies blood to what? It supplies blood to the greater curvature anterior posteriorly. Supply blood to antero posterior of greater curvature of stomach. Done. Then this artery comes and it makes an anastomosis right at the middle part of the stomach or pancreas. It makes anastomosis with another artery which comes from the right side like this, right? That will be seen while we are discussing about the branches of the common hepatic artery. These are the branches of that. This artery comes and makes anastomosis with the left gastroepiploic artery, and that artery is called the right gastroepiploic artery. So we say it anastomose with right gastroepiploic artery. Clear, friends? So it anastomoses with the right gastroepiploic artery. Then the seventh branches, which are the branches of the splenic artery, are called the splenic branches of the splenic artery. You can see here, look carefully my dear friends, This is the splenic branch of the splenic artery, and it enters the spleen. It is the superior, it is entering to the superior segment or part, and it is entering to the middle part, right? And this is entering to the inferior segment or inferior part. So all these four branches, right? All these four branches are the splenic branches of the splenic artery. So the splenic branches of splenic artery, right? So there are about 4 to 5, or some books say there are about 3 splenic branches of the splenic artery, and they further go down inside when they enter to the spleen, they give off 5 to 6 segmental branches which are responsible to supply blood to the spleen. We are not going to enter inside the spleen and see all those branches. We are just concerned with the branches of the splenic artery. So these arteries are responsible to supply blood to spleen. So they supply blood to spleen, right? And if there was time, we will discuss these branches also, that how do they enter to the spleen and how do they bifurcate and supply blood to the spleen. So friends, these 7 branches are the branches of the splenic artery. So we cannot mention all those here, but I have shown you all these branches in this diagram. I hope you clearly understand all the branches of the splenic artery that I just now discussed in front of you. I hope you like the lecture. If you like, please subscribe, please share these videos with your friends, and see you in the next lecture regarding the branches of the common hepatic artery. And if you learned something and if you got something from this lecture, please friends, tell me in the comment section so that I will improve myself more and more. Thank you so much.